and then we'll have 2 sets of breakout sessions that you can select from, one in each one, and we'll be recording them in case there's something that you missed that you'd want to watch later. And then at the end, we'll return to the main room for a discussion with some of our funders on what they're seeing about innovation and philanthropy in this space at this time. So before we get started, I'm Melissa Herman, the director of GNYC. I wanted to introduce my colleagues, who hopefully you could also see up on the Zoom chat, but you'll be seeing them throughout the morning and in the breakout sessions. We have Alex Rowland, who's the project manager for external affairs, who will be monitoring the chat in the main room and helping folks. If you have any questions, feel free to chat him. We have Charlene Diamond, who's the project manager for the Innovation Fund, who will be introducing some of our breakout sessions later and queuing up our funder panel. We also have Rebecca Beeman, who recently launched our newest project, Next Stop College, and she'll be providing some more information about that in one of the later breakout sessions if you're interested to learn more. And then lastly on our team is Latiqua Washington, who many of you probably know is the project manager for the Network for College Success, who you'll see also introducing speakers and providing support in the breakout rooms. Rebecca, can you go to the next slide? Yeah. So I wanted to give a very short overview of Graduate NYC before we jump into our program this morning. As probably many people know, we were born out of the partnership between CUNY and the DOE back in 2010 and have evolved over the last decade to ensure that community partners are engaged with our educational institutions to really support the sector around innovation and helping students achieve their post-secondary goals by working together. Over the summer, we went through a strategic planning process because it was 10 years since GNYC was founded to refresh our mission and vision after a decade of work. And so we wanted to kind of share the draft of those with you now. So these are our sort of refreshed mission and vision statement. And we're still thinking these over, so happy to take feedback following the session. So our mission statement is now leveraging its unique position at the nexus of the New York City DOE, CUNY, and City Hall. Graduate NYC strengthens and supports New York City's educational ecosystem to dismantle institutional barriers in order to increase student post-secondary success. And our vision for the future is a New York City where all students, regardless of race, zip code, or socioeconomic status, are able to attain a post-secondary degree that empowers them to achieve a fulfilling future. And we've developed a set of goals that supports this mission and vision statement. But what I'd like to share next, and Rebecca, maybe you can head to the next slide, is just a little visual that we think represents the Graduate NYC ecosystem. And so we obviously think about students at our center, but around that are really our primary stakeholders, which are staff and leaders at DOE, CUNY, CBOs, and the funder community. And we really work to support the adults that ultimately support our students and help to make them successful. And then if you go around the outside of our little visual, you could see these are the 4 main areas of Graduate NYC's work. And I'm sure many of you are familiar probably with 1 or 2 areas, but this is really the picture of the full scope of the work that Grad NYC does. And so some of you came to us through the College Completion Innovation Fund, which is a collaborative fund that supports innovation in our sector, bringing together pilot projects and helping them learn from one another, and then ultimately share out the learnings. And then many of you also know the Network for College Success, which is now formally housed officially under the Graduate NYC umbrella. And so many of you also probably have come to us today through the network. And so we're really excited to sort of officially bring our teams together to work together hopefully more seamlessly in the year ahead. On the left in the light green, you can see it, we're calling it our research and insights. So this is really the Grad NYC, the public reports that we issue, the qualitative research that we do to inform the field, and that sort of area of work. And then lastly, Probably our newest area of work that most people are not familiar with is Next Stop College, which is a new project that's really aimed at high school students, helping to see themselves as college students, to see college as an affordable option for themselves, and to really support them in a targeted way around what they can do as 11th and 12th graders to make sure that they enter college ready. And so from there, I think we would like to show a very, very short video of the College Completion Innovation Fund. We were planning on doing some actual filming at our colleges back in the spring, which didn't happen, but we've come up with a very short animated video that we would like to show now. So I will turn it over to Rebecca to show it from her screen.
Only 24% of CUNY students earn an associate degree in 3 years, and about 60% earn a bachelor's degree in 6. Graduate NYC was founded in 2010 to ensure all New York City students from every background can reach their own higher education finish line. By bringing together the DOE, CUNY, and City Hall, Graduate NYC uses collaboration at the institutional level, partnered with creative thinking and innovative solutions on the ground to help individual students succeed. They founded the College Completion Innovation Fund, or CCIF, in 2015 to invest in pilot projects at New York City-based undergraduate colleges and nonprofit community-based organizations serving students across the city. CCIF is supported by a group of partners whose collective decision-making process provide more insight than any one funder would have on their own. Applicants to CCIF take part in the Design Thinking Lab, where they work together to identify solutions to obstacles their students face. As part of CCIF-funded pilot projects, faculty at CUNY SPS are rethinking the school admission system, which used to deny some career professionals a spot in the classroom. At Lehman College, they are pioneering ways for students, especially those hovering near completion, to earn credit for their own life experience, like second languages and volunteer work. And the community-based organization Cypress Hills created a workshop series to help students tackle the complicated and confusing transfer pathway from a 2- to 4-year school. Graduate NYC's CCIF partners make experimentation possible by funding grassroots solutions that look at what isn't working for students at NYC. CCIF projects create solutions in higher education to empower students to succeed.
Thanks, Rebecca. So I'd like to introduce our keynote speaker, who I'm pretty sure is on the line. President Vince. Oh, hi, Vince.
Hi.
So President Vince Boudreau from City College is going to be our keynote speaker. He was appointed president of City College back in 2017, but prior to that, he actually had served as the founding dean of the Colin Powell School for Civic and Global Leadership at City College. And so we've invited him today because he pioneered their CCIF project back in 2016 when he was still the dean of the Colin Powell School. And it was this really impactful project that replicated a concept called Project Win-Win, which looks to identify, re-engage, and support students who are less than 12 credits away from graduation but had abandoned their studies. And it looked to re-engage these students and bring them back to school and help them to earn their degree quickly and efficiently, those last few credits. But I think more importantly, it really helped identify barriers that were more systemic for students in terms of getting to graduation and allowed them to change some internal processes and make changes to policies and to advising that really benefited students. And so we asked Vince today to sort of talk a little bit about the lessons learned and sort of connect them with the experience that we're all living through right now and the urgency around helping students get to degree completion. So Vince, I will turn it over to you.
Thank you, Melissa. You know, we're really grateful to have the support of Graduate NYC, and I want to just sort of emphasize something that Melissa said in introducing me, which is that this is a project. We announced the results in 2016, but I think we were working on it 2014, 2015, and so it was something that we undertook when I was dean of the Colin Powell School, working with about a third of the students that graduate at CCNY every year. And so I had the opportunity, moving from there to the president's office, to move in the direction of doing things a little bit more systematically. So I had a really great opportunity to really regard this as lessons learned that could be applied college-wide. Here's what we did. We digitized almost 6,000 student records of social science students. And just to put that in context, every year we have about 2,000 social science majors. So just in the selection of 6,000 records, we were getting an overrepresentation of students that were no longer active, right? So I think that's really important. Of those, we reviewed 700, and we pulled 170 records of students who were within 11 credits of graduating. They had a good GPA, they were in good standing, so above 2.0. And the first thing we did was just looked at what was going on with these students. And what we found is that 11% of those students were eligible to graduate without ever taking another class. Right, like they had run afoul somehow of our bureaucratic systems. 25% of them owed money. Many had simply not filled out the paperwork. A significant share thought they had graduated, and we've probably all been in the position of getting letters from students who are 3, 4, 5 years out. They're applying for another job, want a transcript, and then discover that they never graduated. So this was for us a significant group of students. 36% of the 170 could finish their requirements in one semester. They were one semester away from graduating. And extrapolating that across our campus, we believe that 9% of our student body at any given time could graduate in one semester, but for one reason or another will not. So this is a kind of strong ongoing problem for us. And 50% of those students that weren't graduating because they missed a class that they should have taken in the first or second semester, something that was a kind of a basic pathways class. So a couple things I want to point out in this. Melissa said that the real advantage of this was learning what we can do better in terms of advising and getting students to student success. And maybe it's my new position where I'm much more concerned about campus budgets than I had to be when I was a dean. But there's actually, this is a little bit heterodox, but I just want to say it. There was a lot of money that we spent to enact this project, but only a small percentage of the students we found needed a very few classes in order to graduate. So let me just be a Philistine for a second.